All right,
Hello.
welcome to another edition of RJ's Lives. As you can see, we're a little bit different this week. It's myself, uh, John from Thrifty Kniffy, Stephen from Patty's Potato Peelers, and we got Jonathan from CB Tactical. Uh, Thank you guys for being here in the chat. We have Watch City Knives and Byron Kennedy, Mike Curtis, Randy's WSG. I saw 1 Minute Knife Review is in here. He's listening. Big J's Knives is here. He's listening. Yeah, we got all kinds of guys in here. So fantastic. Hope you guys are ready for a good show. We don't have. Oh yeah, Gizmo Carr is here. Donald Swartz. Slip Joint Sawyer will be in the chat room. He's working. He's been on and off. We got Budget Guy is here as well. Tom has had a previous engagement this week, so he's not going to be here today. So those of you that tune in just to see what Tom's snack of the week is, and if Tammy might show up, are going to be slightly disappointed. But we'll still keep the tip jar going just for him, because we still got to get him over to Steven's house. No? Hey, Pepper Dingo. And congratulations to Pepper Dingo and to Mike Curtis. You guys had a couple wins here on some other channels this week. Yeah, I know 1 minute it is kind of a bummer that Tom's not going to be here. We love Tom. And but things like that are going to happen. There's times that people are going to be busy. So how are you guys doing this fine Sunday?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing well.
Doing
nice
great.
to see CB Tactical back on again. I've missed him. I haven't seen him for a few weeks.
Yeah, I know. You've been busy yourself, Stephen. We're glad to have you back. We missed you while you were gone.
Well, I just have mental issues.
Byron says Tom is disciplining Junior, no doubt. I think so. Especially since Junior seems to have taken away his winnings from Tobias. So we got. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. Mike was thanking me for the knife that he received in our RJ's regiment giveaway. He was the winner of the June knife of the month, so he's enjoying that. Good. I'm glad. I figured you probably didn't have that one in your collection. I'm glad I could get you over. I don't know. Are you over 1K now with your knife collection, or did I just get you just barely over 900? Hey, Crispy Critter. It's good to see you.
Talking about posts, I sent it was on this channel. I think somebody had won a knife, and it was in the UK side.
Yes.
Must be nearly 2 months ago. And I sent him it that Monday, whatever it was, after the show.
Right.
He brought it yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
I'd forgotten all about it. I just thought he had it. And it's Jerome.
Yeah.
He'd be in the comments. And he only got it yesterday. The customs just hold it there. They don't do anything with it. Just hold it. Nearly 2 months.
That's horrible how the customs and the post is so
God
slow.
love the fella. He never even contacted me to say, did you send him a knife? He never said it. I just thought that he had it and, hadn't sent a wee message to say he'd received it. But
it would have taken, it would have taken you less time if you had traveled there yourself to get it.
Walking?
Swimming.
Well, I would hope you'd take a boat across the Shuck, not have to swim.
You have to go across 2 shucks. It's a bit much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you got to go. You'd have to swim twice. And then walking across
France, not for swimming.
Yeah, walking across France would probably not be a picnic either. Oh my gosh. Byron says that maybe you guys need a revolution or something over there in the UK.
No, we just finished one.
I was going to say, I think it's a little late.
But you'll bet there'll be another one at some stage.
Well, it worked for us once.
Exactly. It worked for us once.
That's
Yeah,
only because we're not sore losers.
Yeah, that's true. Mike is pulling double duty. He's watching an Indy race and us. So that is awesome. Good deal. Well, today's topic was kind of a different one. Pete had done a open tag, or not. I don't know if it was an open tag, but he did ask the question, what drives your purchases, and why do you select a certain knife? What makes you think about that you want a certain knife? And I thought, that was really something that we could talk about, and maybe also we could kind of maybe talk about what direction that you guys want your collection to go in. Maybe you're buying certain knives to, fill out a sub collection, or maybe you're, exploring different patterns, whether they're modern or traditional, or, whatever. Kind of what is it that makes you guys excited about buying a new knife, or what are you, even a used knife? What is it you guys are looking for, or something? Any of you guys want to kick it off?
Go for it, Patty.
Oh, heavens above! I've only just started thinking about it 2 minutes ago.
Well, that's a
Go on.
tough question.
Okay. Well, then I'll go with one that this knife here. Let me bring it up full screen for you guys. So this knife here, this little Camillus Remington knife. You've seen it lots of times before, but this really kind of kicked off my traditional hobby right now, because a couple years ago, like I said, I was cleaning out some stuff and I found this knife, and it just made me remember. I picked it up in the 90s. I hadn't really thought about it, but the fact that I really was, it really took me back just to a simpler time, and I really like knives like this. I've always gravitated to small single blade knives, and kind of what I carried for a long time were little small lockbacks like this. So in a way it was kind of very lightweight, minimalist type knives. And I was not a knife collector, but I just wanted something that was light in my pocket, something I could just throw in there, and a small lockback like this would get me through my day. When I rediscovered this one, it of course made me think of my old Stockman, my old knives that I had, and that kind of kicked off my exploration of traditional patterns. And I've gone all over the place in the traditional world, and we'll go through that as we continue talking. But those were just a couple of examples of knives that I had that were kind of where I was, but it certainly led me to where I am now, both of those type of knives. And I see Jersey Pete is in here. Thanks, Pete. You inspired this week's topic, so really good. We're going to talk about what drives our purchases and the directions of our collections and stuff like that. So thank you for indirectly inspiring me to use that as a topic. So that was really nice. Oh, Mimo, I'm so glad you're here. Definitely, I will need you to be my master moderator, because as you see, we are light on moderators today. So be glad that, or at least I'm really glad that you're here. I'm thankful for everything you do. All right, so enough from me. Anybody else want to start off with anything?
It's a tough. Well, you want me to go, Stephen?
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab something real quick.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So it's a tough. That's a tough question to tackle. It's a very involved kind of process that kind of evolved over time, and it's not any one specific thing, So
right.
I would just kind of reiterate what I've said in the past. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but when I made that visit to Smoky Mountain Knife Works, it was a very impromptu thing. I didn't plan it out. I didn't go there to stop there. It just something we saw along the side of the road.
Right.
And walking into that store was like, it's a life altering experience because it just reminded me how much I enjoyed knives, and I just wanted to I had to find something then and there that I knew I was going to want to play with for the rest of the trip,
Right.
Because my wife does most of the driving. So I was going to sit there alongside and just be able to tinker with it. And just having those in my hand and thinking about all those knives I didn't get to buy
Right.
that were in the store, I'm thinking, man, I could really start a collection because I really enjoy these. And there's a lot of stuff in there that I was so completely unfamiliar with because, I hadn't really looked into modern knives at all. I mean, I think the only modern knives I really even saw was just on passive visits to Walmart and things like that over the years from probably like the 80s on. I don't think I ever really paid much attention. So just learning about modern knives, learning about slip joint knives, learning about all the patterns, I just basically had a whole education in front of me to learn. And that drove it, just wanting to learn more, know more, explore the different patterns. Like I say, a lot of times with the Rough Rider knives, they're great exploratory knives. So you can buy them so cheap and then handle them and figure out what it is you like and dislike about them, whether you want to carry them or if they're a good care for you, if they fit into your lifestyle or not. So it was just a massive amount of research and education and learning from that day that I walked in there. And then I want to say it wasn't more than a couple months later, it was New Knife Day. You guys remember the exact date of that? Because I know I was in Smoky Mountain Knife Works probably in early summer. And then I think in late summer is when that happens, or September, maybe early fall. But I won a knife from one of their giveaways because I at that point started following them. So I was watching, their streams and their social media and things. And I won a Benchmade Mini Adamas. So that gave me the opportunity to play with that. And it just exploded. Now I feel like there's all the history and things is kind of where I'm stuck. I'm just I got a starting point and I want to go backward from there and then learn more about each particular pattern, where it was derived and how it got to the United States and what knives were in Sheffield and what knives were in Germany, and just kind of how all that melded together. That's why I kind of like some of the like the Messer knives, the Ignakami and the Black Cat and the Duke and all of that kind of thing, because they have just such interesting histories.
Yeah.
So you feel like when you get one of those knives, that you do have a massive connection to that past. And if I can show this knife,
Yeah,
this gave me a massive connection to the past. Speaking of that, I've talked about that knife before as being the knife that my dad gave me when I was probably about 9 years old, 9 years old, something like that. This was just gifted to me by Randy WSG, and this was my first knife. Not this particular one, but this exact Cutmaster Girl Scout knife. Same exact styling and handle and everything. So that was really cool that I got the opportunity to kind of relive that. And so now, it's just kind of one of those things where maybe I'll try to go and find a couple other knives that I used to have and kind of relive the experience with those. But just really cool to kind of have, I guess would be like your 34 OT, your
that's right.
Something like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to take up too much airtime, but that's kind of my that was kind of my start and my how my passion grew and all that sort of thing.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
CV, do you want to go or do you want me to go? Whichever you like.
You can go, Patty. Yes.
Nope.
I think my internet's still messing up.
Yeah.
No problem. I'll shoot on here. Give it a couple of minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna reset my internet.
Okay.
No problem. Well, much like John there and yourself, I mean, there's multiple reasons, or not reasons, but there's multiple ways you can sort of step out from what you basically started as. And that was when I started, I was very budget because I didn't think I was ever going to spend the amount of money that I'd seen on knives. And a lot different over here. I didn't know there was even knife shops here that sold locking knives. I really didn't know at all. Although, I mean, I'd been a bushcrafter, a fisherman, I'd used knives for their purpose right up until then. I was an apprentice electrician when I was young, and you use knives and that's quite a lot. But when I was looking for a hobby, I needed something. And my wife had got me a little laptop at the time then. She bought me a laptop because I was spending a lot of time at home, and it gave me that avenue to get out of the house through a laptop. That sounds weird, but so I ended up, once I found these knife channels, going onto YouTube and seeing this plethora of lovely shiny things. And I thought, that is lovely. I'll just watch them because I'm not going to spend, £50. I can get that for a tenner. I get a Mora. That'll do me justice, because that's the way my life had been up until then. And so when I stepped into this, much like you boys stepped in, it was budget knives, cheap knives. I enjoyed seeing the other boys, but I thought, that's not for me. I don't need to spend that much. I can have as much fun with Rough Riders. And that's true. You can have every bit as much fun with Rough Rider as anything else. But after a bit of time, you can't, if you're running a YouTube channel, you do have to branch out a little bit to please your subscribers, never mind yourself. But mine was nearly directed by, I needed new content of knives that I hadn't shown before, maybe 5 or 6 times. And that's when you get caught in this, well, I'll maybe up my price limit to 50. Well, then I'll go up to 75. I'll go up to 100. And it just leads on. But after a while doing that, I just gathered this because the China companies were sending me so many knives every month. And you were having to do a review on knives that you maybe didn't particularly like. They were all right as a knife, but they didn't do anything for you. It was nice to review them for others. But I think you're driven eventually, after you get used to this, not trying to please everybody out there in YouTube land. Because a lot of the times people come for your personality, the way you review things, the way you think, it's the way they think, or they like the fact that you're thick as me. And it's just, they love to see somebody stumbling through a thing. And, I'm not a great reader. I do go into a bit of the history, and I had done in the past, but I enjoy just the knives now more than I do the history. But in saying that, my future going forward, I can see now is I'm putting a limit on each sort of collection. I want to have 15 or 16 knives in each, like GEC case, locking knives. And I want to then just move on to something else. Like this year, I want to concentrate on German knives, but older ones like this old Boker, a really old Boker there. Beautiful old Boker.
Beautiful.
And it's in fairly good nick. I've done it up. This is the one I've done up a bit, and it works perfectly well as a knife. So this year, I'm going to continue that till I get maybe 15 German knives, and then I want to go on to the likes of France, because all these companies have been making knives for hundreds of years. There's a Lethers, that's a French knife. This is the most beautifully made knife with a horn handle. It is just beautiful. Backspacer. This is the most elegant steak knife I've ever had.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see this week. There might be one that's going to challenge it.
Is that one stainless or carbon steel?
It's stainless. It's nice. Probably the equivalent. I think it's the equivalent of 12 C27, which a
Nice.
lot of the French knives would be, or you'll get some of them that 14 C28. But I think this one, although it was a quite an expensive knife, it was just over £100, and that
Yeah.
for that sort of deal. But if you put it into context, this is like an eating tool. You'll use it, quick stop, put it in the drawer, and it'll not get used really until sometime later. But then this year, I found some really lovely Spanish knives like this. This
Yes.
knife is amazing. It's so light. It has a fantastic blade with an ultra thin edge on it. And it's an old carbon steel blade. Beautiful, really lovely in hand. So I want to move from Germany then to France, and then sort of the biggest part of my collection so far that I don't have a number set on it is old knives. So again, it brings in like old charade knives like this, or charade, I should say. This is a lovely old charade, going back to probably the 60s.
Yeah,
But it's
really nice.
it's a stunning knife. So I think for me, moving forward, just one part of it, and I'll stop after this, but it's trying to build my collection up so that there's more of each company that I collect from, or not company, but more of each country. And I
Right.
want to build up that side of the collection. I'll still buy the odd, I mean, every year I love getting what I think for that last year. This was last year's. This is the Kaiser T1 when they brought it out on micarta.
Right.
Absolutely stunning knife. It's faultless. Absolutely super. And very, very reasonable. So I'll always have them and I'll get, a good one. But I'm being really picky on what I'm buying because it
Right.
has to be something that I'm going to keep there. I don't want it just for, that's the newest and greatest. Because most of them, I find an awful lot of the newest and greatest are very similar to last week's newest and greatest. And so it's just for me. They don't do anything for me, whereas the traditionals have really got me. I'm converted
Yeah.
completely now.
I find myself the same way, that the modern knives, they're cool. I like them. I own them, but they just don't inspire the same passion in me that a traditional knife does. And there's a place for both of them in my collection, but I think I'm really heading more into traditional patterns and just enjoying those. Because that's where my heart lies. That's what gets me excited. I get more excited opening up the traditional, whether it's a Rough Rider or a Case or a Boker, much more than if I'm opening up, a Petrified Fish or a Citavian or some of these other ones. They just don't elicit the same response in me. So
It's funny that the last lot of modern knives I started buying is the steels. Not that I'm a steel snob by any means, but it's always nice to just have them in your channel when somebody's talking to you. Oh, I've got this as well. But I mean, I just got this last week there, and this is the Sage, and
yeah.
this is in Maximate. Oh my goodness, what a cutter! This is just fantastic. And I've really enjoyed carrying this about the house and whenever doing it. Lovely knife. So I think I might go for some. I haven't got any M4.
That's
So I'm
very
going to try
true.
and get some of the things that I'm missing.
Yeah, trying out different steels and stuff is fun, and yeah, you're gonna find that in the modern knives, in the modern knife space. There's a couple. I mean, Buck does some, Case does some, but not as much as the other ones, and not at the price point the other ones do either. Like this Petrified Fish. I love the Victor. It's an absolutely fantastic knife. It's probably my favorite modern knife that I own, and it's in K110 and it's under $40. But you can't get a knife like that from Case or Buck or any of the other ones. They just don't come in at that price point. So it makes it easier to find or play with different steel types in the modern space than in the traditional space, for sure. Yeah. So 1 minute says he collects by steel type, and that's That's true. People collect for different reasons. And how about you, CB? How do you collect, and what drives your passion?
So first off, am I coming through clear?
So
Spot
far,
on.
Okay, so I had to reset my router. So, just like you guys, I carried traditionals for a long time. I never really gave it much thought about the tradition and history behind them. And once I got into the military, I realized that, time is key to anything. And, just the convenience of having to dig it out, open the blade, do your business, close the blade with two hands. There's a lot of things that I needed to be faster on, and traditionals weren't doing it. So, what started my collection was these SOG Tridents. Now, I carried these with me every day for 15 months in Iraq. You can look at this one and tell it's been well used. I've even busted the pocket clip off of it, and I've used these a whole lot. And it's just the fact that I can open it one hand and then turn it in and close it one hand with the actually the first lock bar that was out was on the SOG Trident that I seen. Um, now I do have a place in my heart for traditionals. I have sentimental value to some of them because I remember my grandpa sitting under the oak tree in the front yard out by the road, just whittling, drinking a beer, during the day, and that was one of my fondest memories. Well, I have that knife, and I wouldn't take $1 million for it, but every blade on it, it's a Stockman, and every blade on it, the tips broke off, they're rusted, and I refuse to refurbish them. Not because I don't want it refurbished. It's just that that's how I received it, and that's how I'm going to keep it. You know,
Yeah.
but I find myself moderns are my thing. I realize it's not everybody's thing, but for me, it's convenience being able to work one handed. Uh, Design does help, but I will overlook some things that will annoy me a little bit if the knife is actually hit some points that I do like. Uh, Blade steel is a big thing for me, and for the traditional market, I love that Buck and these other traditional companies are trying to modernize because there is a place for traditionals. There always will be. And I will always buy traditionals because I like the patterns, or whatnot. But I'm gonna buy moderns also. Um, and to see that these companies want to transition to better steels, because there's better steels than 420 HC, and but they've always worked well. And I'm not trying to stomp on anybody's toes, uh, but it warms my heart to see them like try to come into the moderns. Like here's a Buck Cavalier, and it's a frame lock. It's got real carbon fiber inlay, anodized pivot, flipper. It's tiny, so it won't take up a lot of room in your pocket, and it just ticks all the boxes for me. Um, Now, the blade steel on this one, I think it was like 5CR15, which isn't a big deal to me because, I like to see that they're delving into this kind of knives. But then I
Yeah.
also still have like, you know, traditional toothpicks and uh, solos and canoes and stuff like that. So I appreciate the whole broad spectrum, and choosing one is kind of you can't. I mean, I think every knife person has an affinity for it all, like your traditionals, your moderns, even your weird knives. I mean, there's a lot of weird knives out there, and
Are you talking about
people
like
like them.
poker mermaids or what?
Well, yeah, the Boker Mermaid, or stuff like uh, the Mesker knives that are like, the blade is like a half an inch thick.
Right.
It's weird, but it's a folding pocket knife that can go in your pocket.
Right.
They weigh about a pound, but they're but people have an affinity for that stuff. I mean, it's just, and you gotta give traditionals a hand, because we wouldn't have this if we didn't have traditionals. So,
Yeah.
it's just hard to choose one, and or choose one aspect, because like with this Flissa, and you know what I'm talking about, RJ. You've got one of these.
Yep.
Uh, you got your traditional look, but it's a flipper,
Right.
and then you got a pocket clip.
Yes.
So and it's a liner lock.
Right.
So,
And it's a beautiful knife.
and it's awesome, and it's D2. Um,
Yeah.
but I come from an era where I remember where D2 was like,
Yeah.
super steel,
Right.
and everything that come out in D2 was $100+
Right.
back in the day. And now, it's like all these other companies are coming out with like, you know, 154 CM or whatever, and charging $40-$50 for it.
Right.
And Case is still running 428C, and they're charging 60 or 70 for their knife.
Right.
Uh, but you're paying for the name, you're paying for the quality that the knife is going to be. Um, and if they do jump up the blade steel, just say they put it in 154 CM. You got your two blades, or a Stockman with three, and you're talking,
Yeah.
$180 for a
Well,
case.
I think that was one of the things when Case did do a run of 154 CM. They were right around that $100 mark. And that was a couple of years ago. Now they came out with the ones that are in the S35 VN, but then they also put them in buffalo horn covers, and now in all of those are starting at like 110 and going up from there. And I thought in a way that was, I mean, because you're already having to pay for the American manufacturer, so we know that they're paying higher wages. We know that we have to comment or put that into perspective when we price an American U.S. made knife versus one that's made overseas. You have to look at exchange rates and all that other kind of stuff that's going on. And so it does make it kind of hard because you do want to support the American companies and stuff, but then you're thinking, well, do I want to spend $50 on this when I can get this other one for $40 and it's in a better steel, or it's, a more modern knife or whatever, so those are certain kind of things that, they do play a part in what you're buying. And it certainly
Well,
does affect it.
I'm as patriotic as it gets. I love my country and I love everything about it. But if you buy anything with these 3 letters on it, it's going to cost you more.
Right.
And the thing about Chinese companies is 20 years ago, anything that come out of China was absolute junk. But companies like We and Kaiser and these other companies like that,
USP.
where they have had U.S. influence on the company, their quality is just as high as ours.
Right.
And steel only comes from a few places in the world. And, if you look at it, all the steel they use in China comes from here. So essentially, in the essence of the knife, it's a U.S. knife. It's just, put into shape in China. So that's why I don't really discriminate against a lot of Chinese knives, but there's still some out there that don't quality control,
Right.
So what y'all's 4th of July carry?
My 4th of July carry. Well, that's
Yeah.
easy for me. I'll show it right now. I think John already knows.
Dale Earnhardt, or you got on a flag one?
Yeah. My
Oh yeah, the
my
75
large case Stockman with the Old Glory shield on it. I mean, how much US do you get?
That's right.
And of course it's in
That's a good one.
their carbon steel, but yeah, I'm carrying that all this weekend. What do you got there?
A butter
Patty?
knife.
I'm carrying a Sheffield-made butter knife with a staghorn handle. How
Very
gorgeous
good.
is that? New to my collection. Best peanut butter knife you ever did.
That looks wonderful. I love it.
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
I seen that last week and I had to have it. It's just, I love peanut butter and jelly, so it's got the American connection because I'd never had it till I went to America. And I still eat it most nights I'll have one. So I've got my butter knife specially for it now.
Yeah, I mean, really, I don't think you could get more American unless you're eating like an Elvis
Peanut butter and jelly.
sandwich. You need the Elvis sandwich, right, Patty?
Peanut butter
Nope.
banana.
Yeah, peanut butter and bananas.
I haven't tried that.
Oh,
And
It's
jam.
good. It is good.
yeah, put jam on it too, or honey.
Hey,
I'm going to try that and I'll let you know next week. That sounds
Oh.
gorgeous.
so
Yeah,
here's something you should try. Try grilling it like a grilled cheese.
yes,
A peanut butter and banana sandwich.
yeah.
It is freaking yummy.
Did you guys
Yeah.
see the latest little treat from Mattisfaction? He put sour cream on Oreo cookie and had everybody in the family try it and give their opinion. So shout out to
Yeah.
Matt. I saw that video.
And how did that work out?
A lot
Did
of them
they-
liked it. I haven't had the opportunity to try it yet. I haven't been to the grocery yet, but
Sour cream.
sour cream on
never
Oreo cookie.
thought to try. Thought to try that combination.
Yeah, it was thought to taste a lot like a cheesecake,
Really?
So, yeah.
Huh.
You
I would
make
think that
funny
maybe-
tasting cheesecakes over there.
I would think maybe cream cheese and on an Oreo would taste more like a cheesecake versus sour cream.
Well, you have to ask Matt. It says it
Yeah,
tastes
Maddie,
like cheesecake.
Maddie says
right
it
there
tastes
is.
just like cheesecake. Okay.
What's your 4th of July carry, Thrifty?
Well, I don't typically carry a fixed blade, but in honor of the day, I'm gonna go
There
with
you
that.
go.
that a 120?
This is a 119 special.
119.
Yes, sir.
Just a beautiful knife.
Yeah, the 120s are on sale on Amazon right now for $99.
Thank you, sir. I might pick one up.
They're like
You can make Tom
normally
jealous.
they're like 120,
I
ain't
think-
they?
I think they're 105. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I seen them last night. It was on sale. I just kind of skimmed through, but
Okay.
They're about 100.
I'm carrying my Hogue Deca for 4th of July in the
There
red,
you
white,
go.
and
Red,
blue.
white, and blue. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's nice.
This is a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive.
Gorgeous looking
That's
blade
cool.
on them.
Yeah, I really like it. Yeah, I like the Deca. I almost like it better than I do the Bug Out.
You know, and when we talk about modern knives, Hogue Deca is one that I think I'd like to try.
Yeah.
So that's definitely on my list.
Exploratory. Yeah.
You know, Hogue is relatively new to the knife world, and
Right.
but they come out swinging. I mean, when they come out swinging. So,
Yeah. Kind of continuing that line of thought there about the modern knives for me. It's like how many. Everybody in the panel can answer this for themselves. I don't really have an answer. I'm just kind of throwing this out there. But how many brands of modern knives would you say there is for every brand of traditional knives?
Oh gosh, I'd probably say there's at least 3 to 4 modern knives for every traditional company that's out there.
I would have gone
yeah.
higher than that. I would have probably said closer to 20.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I was
When you
thinking
consider all-
somewhere around 10, 12, but
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of knife companies out there, and there's only a few that stand with traditionals.
Yeah. And even the traditional, or what we think of traditional companies,
Mhm.
like you were saying, Buck's doing modern knives, Case has modern knives, Rough Rider has modern knives, Boker
Absolutely.
has some modern knives. So they're playing with both markets. Randy's WSG says 15 to 1
15 to
is
1,
what
yeah.
he was thinking. And there's more and more modern knives coming out. I think it's funny, even when you look at the custom makers, there are a lot of custom makers of traditional knives, but I think there's even more custom makers of the modern folders. And then of course, if you go to custom makers of fixed blades, then it gets stratospheric, the number of those
Yeah.
guys, because I think it's easier to custom forge a fixed blade than it is to custom forge a folder. But
You
Well-
take it, RJ. Over the last couple of years, modern traditionals have just gone whoop.
yeah,
They are
Oh,
selling
yeah.
like hotcakes.
Jack Wolf is
Yeah.
top.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
I got to
They're
get
just
the
selling-
Gunslinger.
Yeah, it wouldn't be my favorite, but yeah, it is a good knife. It's just not one that there's too many opening mechanisms. I get confused.
You just
I
pick
get it out
one
of a
and stick
pocket and
with it.
think, well, which one do I want to do? And
You just pick one and stick with it.
In my honest opinion, I think the modern knives are just easier to produce than
Sure.
your traditional knives, because you got to pin those, and there's so much more labor that goes into actually building the knife. I think moderns are just easier to make. If you're
Yeah.
using G10, you use your mill, cut it out, you're done. You put some screws with barrels in them, and your pivot, and there you go. You got a knife.
You
So-
take it, a traditional knife maker has a 5 to 7 year apprenticeship.
Right.
You could go into one of these big factories and be on a machine the next day haven't been shown what to do, and you just work through each little process at a time, but you don't have an apprenticeship to do. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's what sort of kind of annoys me when you get traditional knife makers and they're charging a high price. It's that there's a 7-year apprenticeship you have to pay for, where he gets next to no money to get up to this standard. And then, time is just time, and you have to pay for it.
That time that you're putting into it, because let's face it, something like, this knife, this Honey Badger, with plastic scales and stuff, is a lot easier to manufacture this, put it all together, than it is to, put together the Dale Earnhardt knife, which I did bring out Thrifty for sure. But, because I thought maybe we'd talk about trappers. I don't know, but it could come up later.
It might. No, the reason I ask about the modern thing is just because for me, I do enjoy them, but I see too much, repeated styles, and I'm not even talking about like copies or clones. I'm just talking about in general. Like, you've got so many Chinese companies. I see them on Amazon all the time, and then
right,
you're just remaking a lot of what's already been out there. I think like with Civivi. More actually now with Sincut, but with Civivi, they're very, very conservative in the way that they design their knives. They always, I think, try to make everything pretty ergonomic. They don't go too far off the beaten path. And that's also, I guess, for me, it's a positive, but I think for the knife community in terms of modern knives, it might be a little bit of a bad thing, just because the differentiation between them isn't that great. And that's kind of where I feel like I don't have that appreciation. I don't have that passion for those little small differences like I do with the traditional knives. Yeah. And that's why I gravitate more to the traditionals, is because I might buy, 30 sow bellies, but each and every one has a very dramatically different look to it with the handle material, and just the type of material that they're going to use is going to be probably dramatically different when you consider, like, you go from G10 to Micarta or something like that, and not a massive change. To me, it just has to be a little bit more exciting when it's a modern knife for me to be interested into it. And it's got to be a little different. It's got to be something I don't see every day, something that kind of gets my blood flowing. A good example is that Artisan Cutlery Proponent. I love that knife. I think just it to me is just different. I love the action on it, the way it swings open. It feels like it's going to fly out of your hand if you don't hold on tight. It's like a roller coaster ride, it's exciting. Things like that, just a little different. Just it can't be just the same old, I think, for the for the modern knife for me.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it does have to be a little bit different. You have to see little nuances and little things on the modern knives. And with the traditional knives, I think it goes the same way for a modern guy. Somebody that's into the modern knives probably looks at something like a Stockman and says, well, except for there being, from small to large sizes, they're all the same. It doesn't excite me. It's the same thing over and over again. No difference. But then they'll get excited to do the same, the same kind of collecting we do, where you want one that's in a synthetic, you want one that's in a bone, you want one that's in a different color bone or whatever. They do the same thing over, I want one in this steel, or I want one in that steel, and they'll have, like 6 different, say Spyderco Delicas that are all in different color plastic handles and different steels, but it's basically the same knife over and over again, so it kind of is the same way. It just depends on what it is that you like and what gets your juices flowing.
Yeah.
So let's be honest, the steel is the biggest thing in modern knives, and
yes,
they have marketed absolutely amazingly well. Their marketing is fantastic, because like we're talking about CB, you were talking about D2, and now it's a thing of the past. M390 in titanium is now out of date. Already, it hasn't even got about 3 years of and it's gone. Everybody wants beyond that now, And what that, there is no real reason, although I do like collecting them myself. But I mean, the price difference, when they go up a steel, the price difference is astronomical compared to what the steel is. Because between D2 and M390, it's probably only maybe $5 difference, in whatever they measure it in, there is not a huge market in the steel. And even going up to your Maximus, you're not paying for the steel, you're paying for the machinery to cut it because it's so hard. So there's a reason for that. But M390 and all them, there's $5 difference. But yet, if you get a knife in that, it's probably $100 difference in price. And I think, well, it's just blooming good it's good marketing that we fall for every time, me included.
Of course. Yeah, the marketers know how to get us.
Oh,
sure. I'm just as much a sucker for it as anyone else.
Yeah.
Just look at like the QSP Penguin.
Right.
You got a big, a small, a medium.
Yeah.
Probably 12 different blade stills.
XL.
How many different handles?
And we're going to get them in every different steel as well.
Right.
Because they're a good knife. They were a good knife when they came out in D2. They're even better with Maximum, you know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Joe from Messer RQ says the modern knives that he likes are typically out of his price range. There's that too.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of traditionals out of my price range too.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say the same thing. But I like what Pocket Knives and Harmonica said about finding modern knives a little soulless, if that's even possible. And I think that he hit on it, that for me, traditional knives, they touch you on the inside. They touch your soul. I feel that way about a lot of objects that I find. Either you just are really super attracted to them and they hit you right in the feels, as they say, or you see it and you get nothing out of it, So that's definitely a thing. So yes, I would say that's in particular, something. So what are we gonna do, John? Are we switching places? Am I becoming a stockman guy and you becoming a trapper guy, or what's happening?
Well, the thing is I've ignored the trapper a long time because in the old timer collection, those were like some of the last ones that I've needed for the collection.
Uh-huh.
And realizing now I'm not going to be able to get the hot dog shield anymore because they've changed over. So I'm kind of rolling the dice sometimes when I buy these and don't know what I'm going to get in terms of the shield.
Right.
But I didn't have any of the yellow handled ones. So that was on sale. And I pulled the trigger on that just simply because the price was what it was.
Right.
I still don't have the Stockman. I'd still have that yet to get. But yes, indeed, people. Stay away from the spay.
That's a nice spay on that one, too.
It is.
It is.
But
it is a nice one.
I wouldn't say it's growing on me. I've just seen so many of them that they don't bother me as much.
Right.
You're becoming inoculated.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen plenty because you have 300 of them in your collection.
I meant the longer ones. I have probably got a dozen trappers like this now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not uncommon in my collection at all. So yeah, but yeah, this is the OTY old timer. And this has got the new shield. So I was kind of disappointed that I got the new shield because I was kind of hoping to get the old one. But now I'll just have to go hunt it down, I guess, on eBay or something.
Yeah.
But I asked AOB to send me this a number of times, and they keep telling me they don't have any. So I don't know what's going on. But I guess I'll just buy my own and do a review anyway.
Yep. 1 minute has your answer, John. He's holding a trapper right now. He uses it to scratch lotto tickets.
That's perfect. He's buying all those lotto tickets so that he can afford something better than a trapper, right? That's what.
Oh, that is so wrong.
I'm just joshing. You showed a Stockman. You showed a Stockman. I'll be nice.
But the other thing is that I think that you can like both genres. Like modern and traditional, and you can
Right.
get as much. I remember getting this knife back in my. This was my grill knife. Still is. Hasn't changed. You can only have one grill knife in my idea. I can remember getting this, and I have never been happier at that time, about knives than when I got this. I thought I'd reached the pinnacle of my knife collection.
Nice.
Sadly, I was very wrong, but I still love this knife. It's still something I have heart with, if you know what I mean. It's just a fantastic knife. So you can love both sides. I just don't buy as many of these unless it's something that I think I'm going to have that relationship with it and use it. Do you know what I mean?
Right. And that's a beautiful spade blade on that too.
Oh no. Here we go.
Well, I'm a spade lover. But I mean,
Oh my goodness.
I know this is going to be a bit showy offy, but I mean, I think I've had it on the channel. I got this sent to me by a company to review and to keep. Look at that baby.
That's nice.
That is just absolutely the fit and finish, everything about this, the milling on it is outstanding. It costs £1,300 to buy, £1,350, $1,700. And that's it. It's just.
There you go.
It is.
So why do you feel like
Absolutely.
you're showing off, Patty?
Because I mean that is an expensive knife. There's.
I would be proud of it. I would show it off every day.
Trust me, it's not been out of my pocket for a week. I can't get it out of my pocket because I miss it when it's not there. I literally have cravings, and that's
Trust
a modern
me,
knife.
CB, he'd show it every day if you could, if it wasn't for Judd putting him in line.
I have put it in both videos that I've got. But even the steel, this is the Damas steel, and this is powdered metal. It's not it's powdered metal steel. It's a Rockwell of 61. As a user, it's flipping gorgeous. Now, I am not going to stick this in a mud pile and dig things out for the grandchildren, but the fact that it can do it, like a lot of our knives, knowing that it can do it and look beautiful. I mean, I don't know. It's just, even the pocket clip, honestly, you don't feel it. It just blends in with the knife and it just holds the knife perfect. Everything about this, I'm excited just holding and showing it to you. It's just like.
Does it cut a bolt like the 119?
But yeah, I agree with you. That is every bit as beautiful.
No, what I'm saying is you need to try it out because the 119 can cut a bolt. So we got to know now, Patty. We've got to.
This will not see a bolt. But you know what I really do appreciate is that a company they're from Poland. They sent this to my wee channel, and it's a £1,300 knife, £1,350 knife to keep after review. Yeah. That takes some, that's big kahunas for a company to send out to a wee channel like mine. I think that makes it even more special that there is companies out there willing to put their mouth, put their knife where their mouth is. This is outstanding. And I can't say, I haven't found anything. That's a lie. When you hold it in your hand, the bottom bit of here, it's a wee bit sharp in your hand. That's the only fault I have found. It comes with the edges on it are polished. I mean, it's high polish. It's just everything gorgeous. So yeah, I can love both sides, but yeah, that's about. I can love both sides, but most of the time I'm on the traditional side. This is my Friday night in my Porsche carry.
There you go.
I haven't got a Porsche. I've got a Hyundai, but it's still going.
So Mattisfaction put up that comment about the ram's foot is the best traditional blade shape. What do you guys think? Because actually, I was going to ask you about this, Patty. I've actually started to get kind of interested in making sure that I have a knife that is a lamb's foot. And I was thinking a lamb's foot might be a better carry than a ram's foot. But I think you have examples of both, right?
There's a little ram's foot there.
A ram's foot or a lamb's foot?
That's a lamb's foot.
Okay.
And then you have,
show them both.
There's a lamb's foot and a sheep's foot.
Right.
And then a ram's foot. I don't think, have I got a ram's foot?
You want me to show a ram's foot? I got a
I
ram's
used to have a ram's foot, and I can't think now if I have one.
Yeah, if you have one, John.
No, I don't think I have.
Okay. But yeah, show that lamb's foot again. I think a lamb's foot is a very nice looking blade, and it looks very very handy.
Do you know what this? This would remind me as a ram's foot is a very. It's brilliant if you work in an office or you want a knife on your desk to do maybe cutting around things where you're going to specifically use the beautiful point on this.
Right.
It's great for light duty and you just sort of go up. The sheep's foot is a bit more sturdy. That's what I call a work knife. And then a heavy duty work knife would be the ram's foot. And if you sort of look at that, it's just that you're taking it from the big down to the small, but they all have that opportunity to get up on it and use the point of the knife for detailed work.
Right. Yeah, because that's one of the things that really excited me about the large Stockman from Case was just this great, big, lovely sheep's foot.
Sheep's foot, yeah.
Yeah, and I use this all the time. This is the first blade I go to in this, so it's really very nice. Did you get
I
one,
love
John?
the fact that the Stockmans that put the sheep's foot in the middle,
Right.
you know, it's there for a reason because it's the most used knife and you got stability on both sides.
Right.
Yeah, that's a lovely one.
Yeah.
Where is it going to focus? There we go. But yeah, that's just the Rough Rider.
Yeah.
Justin brought me the new Rough Rider Reserve. What's it called? And it's like a ram's foot, but it's got a slight belly.
Oh
Have you
yeah,
seen-
the I know which one you're talking about.
Patriarch, is it?
That sounds right.
Patriarch. It's a fabulous knife. I definitely am going to get one of them. It is fabulous. Probably the best they produced, in my opinion.
Yeah. So what do you think, Maddie? Let me know in the comment box there. Do you prefer still the ram's foot, or do you think lamb's foot and sheep's foot have a place in your repertoire as well?
Ram's foot's high on my list. It's up there. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, they're all good. I've got to make sure I have one of all of them.
I think if I have
If you want to get a lamb's foot at an affordable price, I'll give you a recommendation. You
Yeah.
remember the Land Shark, old timer Land Shark?
Yes.
It's got a lamb's foot on it.
Okay. I've had a couple of people ask me about that in the past, asking me to either review that or pick one up, and I just haven't done so yet. So now I got a reason to do it.
I'll give you another one that you can buy over there now is Arthur Wright. You can buy an Arthur Wright lamb's foot and it's what, 30 I don't know, $30 odd. It's cheaper than we can buy it here in the UK.
Yeah.
So the Arthur Wright lamb's foot is just fantastic. Highly recommend it.
I see that Carell Schneider has entered the chat. How are you doing, Terry? I hope you're doing well. He's been going through a spot of bad health here for a while. So if you guys, anybody that wants to send prayers his way, that's definitely appreciated. He's, let's see, Randy's WSG says $32 plus $6.50 shipping, Patty. Is that for that Arthur Wright, Randy? Or
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually a really good price.
No,
Yeah,
it's a working knife and you have to keep that in your head.
Right.
I mean, there might be a little gap or something, but for that price, they're not together quickly to get them out in numbers.
Yeah.
The farmers over here and the workmen that buy that, break them or completely wear them out, throw them away, buy another one.
So they're just like Tom.
Oh, he's not here to defend himself.
Oh, that's okay. We aren't going to pick on him too much.
Did you ever see the
Not
picture?
in any way that he would need to defend himself.
There's a sheep's foot.
There you go.
That's lovely.
Arthur Wright.
Did I mention to you about down the caravan? One of the workmen who works in the caravan park, he came up and said, "Well, I sharpen his knife," because they all know I sharpen knives.
Yeah.
Right.
This is what he brought me to sharpen, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What is it?
This is the God, it's going into my head now.
Well, open it up. It'll tell you.
Yeah. Oh gosh, come on. K-Bar Dozier.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Look at the state of that knife.
Wow. He uses that one for
Uses
sure.
it. Awesome.
There's it with my one. That's a new one, and look at that, how much he has used that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just took it out of his hand and said no, and I went in and got him I had a new one in my box and gave him a new one like this, and then I bought myself the D2 version.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what most people out there do with their knives. They don't keep them pristine like us.
No.
Yeah. That's for sure. Because even
No, I try to use mine.
yeah, I mean, I take mine to work and stuff, but even that at work, the most I'm doing with a knife is opening boxes, opening the bags that are inside, because usually the parts inside are all taped up and stuff, and so you have to slice through the little packing material and stuff to get something out, and but I wouldn't say they're hard use at all, so
Yeah, just spend like 10 minutes on eBay. You can see how knives are abused.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, then there's the other thing, there's people that actually will try to use a knife as something else. They'll use it as a pry bar, they'll use it as a screwdriver, they'll use it as a whatever, instead of they try to use it like it's a multi-purpose tool instead of just a kind of a single-use tool, which is.
But that's what the Benchmade 940 was made specifically for, to do that, to be a screwdriver, to be everything, and he made it for his friends.
Right.
They'd wanted a knife that could do all that, and that's what he made it for. It was for farmers,
Right. If I
A
need
knife
a
is
hammer,
a tool. Nobody ever said that you had to have the right tool.
Very,
I've
very
always
true.
known.
I was going to talk to 1 Minute Knife Review, because he said this is not a hammer. There's a whole thing on Instagram about people using linesman's pliers as a hammer. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The back of your Buck 110.
Right.
I've done that.
Yeah, there you go.
I've hung
Give it a
many a
bit.
picture frame with some linesman's pliers.
Right. Vivid a bit says, I use my knives to open the box my new knife came in.
The best use for a knife.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to try that out, RJ.
My wife's in the chat.
The little opening tool
Oh,
for
okay.
for the Rev.
Yeah,
It's got a great little package opener tool.
it does. That little that cutlery lover had done a review several years ago on that, saying, how big does your knife blade need to be, and he did a whole video on just that little Leatherman opening tool. Yeah, let me bring that up, and that's like what, not even barely a quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
But
fine.
yeah, that's a great for opening up the clamshell packages and all that kind of stuff. It does a great job on those. So yeah, it's definitely a fun video, and that's a good tool. I'm glad
Is
you're
that the
enjoying
Wave,
it.
John?
I'm sorry.
Is that the Wave?
This is the Rev, REV, Rev.
Oh, the Rev.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Here's how clever. I don't even know if I've got that on my wave. I haven't a clue. I'm just
No,
going to check.
no, that one's not on the wave. That
It's not.
tool. No.
Dang it,
So-
that's a good looking tool.
Yeah.
Talking about what drives collections, I'm just going to take a second. But this is what is kind of driving my collection right now. It's just kind of what I'm into. But, I'm kind of into the titanium scales right now. I mean, this is what's making knives a lot more expensive as well. Yeah, I'm really getting into the titanium stuff. Actually, since she's in the chat, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. So my anniversary is May 14th, and during that time, Metal Complex come out with a custom made PM2 Spyderco PM2, and it's a collaboration between Northern Knives and Paul Munko, which is Colorful Filth. They've done it before. They did a bug out called the Spaced Out Bug Out.
Yeah.
They only do 250 of them, and well, this one is kind of a sci-fi military theme, and it had a tank on it. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And my wife handed me her credit card, was like, order it. That's your anniversary present. And so I'm actually waiting on it right now, but it's a titanium scaled PM2. It's the normal blade for the PM2. And you also get a comic book with it, a 12-page comic book that acts as the certificate of authenticity. It's numbered along with the knife. And so, yeah, it's pretty neat. I wish I could show y'all a picture of it, but yeah, my wife got me that for my anniversary.
I'm
I
looking
thought
forward
that was awesome.
looking forward to the video on that one to have.
Yeah,
see you go
me
over
too. It should be here sometime in August around my birthday. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy about that one.
And Mattisfaction is exactly right there. His comment, so that's pretty good.
So while I'm still up here, so for modern knives, one of the best on the market at the time and it's really popular, is the Penguin, right? The QSP Penguin.
Yes.
I think that's a quintessential modern knife. I think everybody should have one. I wish I could buy everybody one, but I can't. But they also make them in titanium
Yes.
and 154 CM. These are like $100. These are very, very affordable for a titanium 154 CM knife, and it's QSP, so it's going to be quality, and it'll last you a lifetime if you just want something that looks good and it's going to last for a long time. If you're going to spend any kind of money, I suggest one of these on the moderns for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The Penguins are great. I've reviewed
Actually,
a couple of them.
I'm fixing to hit 600 subs, hopefully. I'm at 575 now, so when I get to 600, I've got a brand new G10 QSP that I'm going to give away.
That's a lovely giveaway.
Yeah, that's
600
nice.
subs. I just like the Jade G10 look. It just kind of pops to me, you know.
I like that too.
So hopefully within the next week or so, if I can just kind of get that final little push, I'm gonna.
Well, you guys in the chat right now, we got 43 people watching, so he's only 25 away from giving that away. So if you guys have not subscribed to CB Tactical, then please do so, and then we can get on with that fantastic giveaway. It'd be nice to be able to do that by Independence Day. I think we could probably do
That
that.
would be cool.
Let's get.
It's not here yet, but I'm also giving a QSP Parrot and
yeah.
Jade G10 along with it. So you get a parrot and a penguin.
double bird.
Double bird.
Yeah, there you go. All right,
I've
thank you.
seen a
Mikey.
few of those in my day. Double bird.
Heck yeah.
Mostly on the highway, I give those
Yeah,
away.
probably.
Joe is asking you, Patty. He wants to buy an Arthur Wright Barlow. Can you tell him where to buy one? He's in Germany, so I don't know which place.
You can actually contact Arthur Wright directly, but their phone is not. Awful habit of not being able to get through on the phone. Probably somewhere like the Sheffield Cutlery Shop or the famous Sheffield Cutlery Shop would be a good place to get them from. I think they do them. And if he has any problems, get him to let me know if he can't get them that way, and I'll make sure I find out where they are for him. But I think the Sheffield Cutlery Shop should have some.
Thank you, Mimo, for putting up the link there to CB Tactical's channel. That's awesome. I hope you're able to get your subs here quickly. That would be very nice.
Tell him also. Sorry, Amazon does the Arthur Wright. They do a couple of Arthur Wright knives on the Amazon in the UK.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Joe heard that. So, very good. Oh, and Rhino just subbed also.
Gotten some
Thank you,
subs
Rhino.
there, Stevie. So good.
Awesome. Yeah. You guys will
That's
enjoy
awesome.
his channel. He
Thank
shows
you.
a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I'll give you a shout out tomorrow when I do up my video for tomorrow. I'll give you another shout out there.
And Byron
Just
Kennedy.
don't talk bad about me, Patty. I appreciate it.
It's too late. It's already been shot.
You're one of my favorite hole diggers.
Yeah, I like digging holes. I got a good shovel for that.
And there you go, John. Byron Kennedy says, if you like the content, please smack that like button like it's a spider in your shower.
Yes,
Shameless
sir.
plug. So go ahead and throw some money in the tip jar for from Byron Kennedy.
Thank you, Byron.
Yeah. Cheers, Byron.
I've missed this since Tom wasn't here.
It's fine. Hey, KJ. Nice to see you're here.
Oh, stop it. Just childish.
Is it?
Tom will be over there sooner than you think.
Yes, he will.
It's my fear when he finds out that this is my children's house. I live in a cave up in the hills.
Deception.
That's okay. He'll there you go. Watch City Knives. Awesome. He took his brother's phone hostage and now he's subscribed to your channel, CB.
I love it.
There you go.
Thank you.
If you can pull somebody else's phone and subscribe to CB Tactical, that'd be awesome.
So if y'all don't know, I've got some new channel stickers.
Nice.
Cool.
One of our viewers did it for me. Seamus Collins, awesome dude. He's got a baseball team for a family. I mean, he's got 9 kids. He's awesome dude and great artist. And so he did a bunch of these designs for me, and this is the one I kind of chose to run with first. This is kind of
yeah.
This is kind of a mock-up. It's going to have color to it. I was in first cav, so the color was yellow, and the color for armor was yellow. So the background's going to be yellow, and the tank is going to be a greenish tan color. It looked tan, but against the background of the yellow, we had put some green in it. And but if you notice, it's got my bayonet on
Sticking on the front.
on the main gun, and he did that because he remembered my video where I got my Vietnam era bayonet, and he remembered that I'd been looking for this for years, and so I just thought that was awesome that he threw that in there.
Yep, that is cool because that's the bayonet we had when I was in too. I didn't have the newer modern the M9, I think it was. Mine was the M7 bayonet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was different in the Navy. We just had a fishing net on a stick for catching mermaids.
Right. I figured that's what it was.
Yeah, you were in the Navy, wasn't you, Patty?
Yeah. About
That's
12 years.
Wouldn't trade them for nothing, would you?
Wish you could say that.
Well, you did some good. We all did
Yeah,
good.
I did some good, but I ended up in a mental hospital about 6 months after I came out.
I drank a lot in the military too. So.
But the first 6 to 8 years were pretty good. I can remember some of it. Nothing worse than an Irish paddy coming at you off a ship. It's terrible, scary.
Well, my problem was I was older than most of my sergeants, so I was always drinking hurt by the time I got in the Army.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that's true. Yep, we lifted thousands of tons, 12 ounces at a time.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a strange life. But no, I would go back and do it again. I would change some of the things I've done, but I would go back and do it again at the drop of a hat.
Yeah,
I would live and go tomorrow. If they could take somebody who can hardly walk and it aches all over, I'd go tomorrow.
That's right.
And I think that's where the sense of humor, the self-deprecation and taking the mickey clean out of people for no reason, it's just never left me. And I've had more black eyes and busted noses for doing it.
Yeah, it happens. But that was all just in good fun. It was just boys being boys.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking about that. When I was in the Navy, you would have been bars, and there would have been soldiers, there would have been Marines, all in the bar together. When you're having a drink. At the end of every night, there was always a scrap somewhere, and it always ended up going out the door. Have a scrap, and then come back in another pint with the same people you were fighting with.
Exactly.
Now you get stabbed, shot, and 20 on to 1.
Yeah, and that's a bad part. That's for sure. But I think it's different in the military. Is that we definitely knew the difference between being rowdy and roughhousing versus actually hurting somebody in a bad way. Things didn't have to go all the way to the end. It's just enough to
Well,
you wouldn't have got stamping on a head and that sort of thing. I mean, the worst we done was form a ring round, let two of them beat the crap out of each other. That was
right.
Well, when we were growing up, you had a problem with somebody, you fought them, and then after you got done fighting, 9 times out of 10, you end up being semi-friends, you shaking hands, something.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, everybody's afraid to get their butt whooped.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. You got to take your licks and keep going.
But like my son and my grandson, who's now in the Navy, their basic training, like we had to do boxing and all that sort of thing, and you weren't set in by size. It was just you get in, and it would be you just get in, 1 lost, 1-1, that was it. You move on, and it's good fun. But they don't even do anything like that now in training. They do not do any of that sort of self-defense. I just think it's silly. It gives you a wee bit of a, as long as you know you can throw a punch, you don't have to be the best in the world. You just have to be able to have the courage to go in and throw it.
Right.
Some of them
Yeah,
join up
exactly.
and they throw a punch. Or
Yeah.
they've never been hit in the face with a punch, which is the bit you want to.
Yeah, Don C said it. He said some of his best friends he had some wicked scraps with, and
Yeah.
that's just the way that's the way it used to be, for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
I've even had a granddaughter bust my nose. She headbutted me straight in the bloody nose.
Yep.
She was only about this height.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you certainly don't wake up with a face like mine. That's not what God intended. Well, I was a naval policeman for 7 of those years. Shore patrol. Oh, we had some great fights. It was just,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
enjoyable night. It was fantastic. And then
Yeah, you had the best job in the Navy, didn't you?
Oh, it's great fun. Great fun. We had a caged wagon, and that was it. Just go out and stop the trouble. It was great. And then I was a bouncer in the clubs at night time, because if you were in the naval police, the local clubs hired you immediately to come and do the job. So
Right.
I mean, I've done that for years. And they play dirty. They don't play like the rest of us. But yeah, I've had an adventurous life with my face.
With your face. Well,
Yeah.
then they didn't teach you how to box properly. You're not supposed to lead with your face.
No, and let me tell you, I got a hiding more than once for kicking during boxing when the fellow was beating me. I just gave him a quick kick. I played judo before I joined the Navy. I played judo, and that was my sport.
Right.
And not wrapping your arms around somebody and just letting them punch you in the face is totally alien to that.
Yeah, it's not the best way to go. That's for sure. All right, we'll see you, Byron.
Cheerio, Byron. Another great commenter.
Yes, he is. Really, really good guy. I always enjoy his comments. That's for sure. All right, so where will we go now?
What's your favorite
Wherever
blade
we
steel?
want.
Out of everybody here, what's your favorite blade steel? You can only have one.
I could only have one
Oh,
blade.
if I had
Blade
to
shape.
No,
Steel.
blade steel.
probably
Steel.
go with 14C 28.
That's a good
It's a
choice.
good one.
That is a good one. I don't know. To tell you the truth, I'm still a big fan of carbon steels. I'd be content with 1095.
Yeah. You
Okay.
took one of my answers.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with carbon either. But if you're just talking about a more, modern
Yeah.
steel.
I think 14C28 is an excellent choice. I really enjoy that steel, and I have
I think
You
it's
know,
a good
couple of different
balance
types, yeah.
between sharpen and edge retention. It's a really good balance.
Yeah, it is. The 154s are good too. The CM.
Yeah,
or the
they
CPM.
sharpen real well, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn between 154 CM or M390 because they sharpen so well
Yeah.
and they just hold their sharpness.
Yeah.
This was the first knife that I got when I come back from the Army, and it's a Benchmade Barrage, and it's an M390, and I have sharpened this thing like no tomorrow, and it's just I kind of fell in love with the steel. Probably, let's see, it was probably around 2010 when I got it. So
Yeah.
I've been in love with this steel for about 13, 14 years now.
I think.
A
Yeah.
lot of people saying D2 in the chat. So
Yeah, I see that. And Cheeto Bandito asked about K110. being a good steel or not. I just have the one knife that's in the K110, the petrified fish, and I
Yeah.
like it. I think
I don't know
it's just fine.
much about
Yeah.
It's just
So
German
pretty much
detail.
anything Bowler produces,
Okay.
like the K110, M390, you know, it's going to be a good steel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Germans do a good steel. It's just the same as D2, a well-treated D2.
yeah,
I'm going to go for S30V because it was the one that I fell in love with first before I get into traditionals. And I think for an all-round knife, you mentioned it, it is very easy to sharpen. I have sharpened it on a river rock, and it came out really, really usable. Now, not hair splitting, but you still have that edge retention. Even if it's not razor sharp, you can get it to an edge that's, for self-defense or survival, I should say.
Right.
I like S30V. I think it's a lovely, well-rounded steel.
Yep. I agree with that. I still have this this Buck 112.
Yeah.
It's in the S30V, and boy, oh boy, did they get this thing screaming sharp. I just have to show this knife to boxes and they open. So
Don't touch me.
they're like, I'm done.
I'll
But yeah,
tell you something. I think the last time I said I'd find this wee sheath that I'd had for quite a long time, and it was just an ordinary sheath for a traditional, but it has the loop to put on your belt, and I could never really find a use for it. I have had this on me now for over a week. It is the most useful, and it's my little the tactile turn bear.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
You know the wee thin one.
yes.
And this sheath is so tight, that's why I didn't have anything to use it. And it just pops in there. It's tight as a drum. And the wee thing to pull it. I have carried this, see, sitting down, everything, absolutely fantastic. Really
Yeah.
recommend it if you haven't used one.
Yep.
So handy.
I totally agree. That's how I carry my large Stockman. I got this little
Exactly. Yeah, and it is the same belt loop as I have mine in too, because you can push it back if you want.
Exactly.
When I get into my armchair, it's quite a tight fitting armchair, or my arse is big, one of the two. But you can just push it around and it doesn't get caught when you're sitting down. It's absolutely, I love carrying like that.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when a knife gets to be, in that size range where it's like 4 1/8,
yeah.
4 1/4. It's just easier to belt carry than to have it in your pocket. It just takes up too much room in your pocket.
I think this is UK legal, which is fantastic. I'm just trying to look. I just want to double check before I say it.
Okay. Another
Oh yes,
steel.
well under 3-inch blade, but the steel on this what do they call this? Oh God, I haven't got my right glasses on. Can't see the bloody thing. MagnaCut.
Yeah.
Oh,
The tactile turn bear MagnaCut. It is fantastic. I haven't had the sharp. The strop does. It turns it just completely into a razor blade. Couple of turns.
Well, that's what this is. The Rockwall, the Tactile Knife Company.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in MagnaCut.
Absolutely fabulous steel. I'm trying to get some use on the Maximate just to see how good it is compared to this, because this is top notch, I have to say. I think Maximate's maybe just a wee bit tougher, isn't it?
You said your Sage is in Maximate, right?
Yeah, the Sage.
Yeah, it's a good steel.
I've never had a Sage knife, and this is a very, very comfortable knife to hold. Even I don't even mind the wire clip on this. Normally, I don't like Spyderco's wire clips. I never find them comfortable. We're going to use it for 10 minutes or something. It would start to irritate you, but this really is lovely grip.
You can get a Lynch clip for it.
Yeah.
So, yes. Do you want to know? I agree. I would. You see, if this was uncomfortable, I would definitely get one. But I'll have to say, I'm just enjoying this. So
that's how they do their lightweight knives. Is they put the wire clip in their composite plastic handles.
Yeah, but it's funny. That one's G10. The Sage is actually G10, and they don't normally do it on that, do they? But yeah, good knife. I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
Joe from Messer HQ mentioned going back to steels. The VG10 was a good one for him too,
Oh.
and I agree.
Yeah,
VG10
it's
is
Japanese steel.
an excellent steel.
It's excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I've got the wee dragonfly there for my summer shorts. Well, I don't wear shorts, but my summer tracksuit bottoms. Fantastic. Drops
You-
at the just
you don't wear
drops at the drop of a hat.
in the summer. Well, of course, you guys don't have a hot summer over there, do you?
Well, it's hot for us, if you know
Yeah.
what I mean, 'cause what we're used to. But I'm not a lie out in the summer, I have to say. But no, it gets hot enough for me. 70 degrees and I melt, and I want to get in the fridge.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
I'm serious. We don't even go abroad anymore because I can't stand the heat. The two of us don't.
Yeah, we're going to be a nice and cool 109 today.
Yeah. Well, I've been up and down both sides of America. It's different when you were younger and
Yeah.
you were drunk and you didn't care.
Jeez.
Yeah, but we're 90 degrees here today in Kentucky,
I'd
but
be
the
in your
humidity's 110,
Oh, that's just
Right.
and
Yeah.
so it's like I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm sitting here in my underwear. All I got on is a
There you
t-shirt
go.
and a hat.
Speechless.
John, are you in the same outfit?
No, I was just wondering
It's just
why
too
hasn't he
hot.
joined the commando club if he's just sitting there in his underwear?
Well, some clubs
Well,
are
I
harder
mean,
to get in than others.
I lived in the South, and I couldn't stand that humidity. I was insane.
Oh, yeah.
You walk outside, you're drenched in sweat within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in Iraq, it was 135
But
on
it's dry.
average in August in
Oh.
Mosul, and I can handle that better than 90 here
Mhm.
with 100 to 110% humidity.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, if they ever sent me to Iraq, we'd lost the bloody war. I'd have been in the cave with your man.
Well, I think we would have lost because that you wouldn't have been able to operate your ship there in the desert.
Oh, we had Navy guys in the desert.
Oh, I know.
Oh
you
yeah,
did.
my son has God, I don't know how many medals he got. He'd done about 4 tours out there with the Navy.
Yeah.
We
Mike
had an
Curtis's
EOD
91
guy
in Alabama.
from the Navy with us.
My son was part of the crowd that went out for the Hearts and Minds, and they used to go on. He was given the money and had to go out and do the schools or roads or things like that. So I done a couple of other things. He was out there when he first went out. He was a chef, and he went out there in the field kitchens. So
Oh, there you go. Watch City Knife says it's 65 and raining in New Hampshire.
There you go.
happy days. Go New Hampshire.
Wish I was there.
Right?
But you must get used to it if you live there.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
It's not enjoyable, but you get used to it.
I mean, at the beginning of the season, it is kind of a shock for me. I know when it starts hitting triple digits, but then, a week or two in, you're good. But that first week, it's not fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
When you go into the car, if it's been in the heat, you don't have any kind of a wind shade. It's got the internal thermometer there. I think it's like usually 122 degrees when you can't touch the steering wheel. You got to sit there and wait to drive because you burn your hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
definitely. I drive around with one of those sunshades for my front window. For every time I park, that gets deployed.
I hurt my back every time it's too hot and the wife drives.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
So Marvin Norton wants to know what our favorite sharpening methods are. We've been talking about sharpening a lot here the last month or so, and Patty has a lot of really good sharpening videos. So I would say definitely.
Really good mightn't be the honest answer to that.
Yeah. So,
I'm still an amateur sharpener.
well, yeah, I think
To me,
I
the
I would say
easiest,
that we're not pros, but go ahead, CB, go ahead.
well, the easiest, fastest way absolutely is the Work Sharp workstation. And it takes all the guesswork out of it. You don't spend, an hour sitting there trying to get, your knife sharpened. You can spend 5-10 minutes on it and walk away and split hairs. It's just
Yeah.
one of those things that some people have the talent for sharpening, some people don't, and I'm one of those that don't. So that's probably the easiest, best, and fastest way to sharpen.
Trouble is, it's not very good for traditionals. That's the only thing about it, unless you get the latest one.
Yeah.
But all the other
Right.
ones are not very good for traditionals.
And you're right, Patty. I mean, because the blades are so small, you can't get them on there.
Yeah.
Right.
But
But the new one now, the new one looks fantastic. It just costs £300.
Right.
And when you can hand sharpen, I'm not going to spend £300. I've got the work sharp there that I use for reprofiling, but I hand sharpen everything nearly. Once I've reprofiled a knife, then I'll just hand sharpen it because I've already got the angle and you just follow it every time.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I use the Lansky turn box, but then I also use the Work Sharp guided sharpening system that has the little ramps on it, and I can usually get a decent blade out of that. That's and it was something that I had to really slow down and take a step back to like get the patience part of it down, because sharpening does require patience, and that was one of the things. So that's what I liked about Patty's advice of making sure you can cut before you go to the next step or the next higher grit, because I would find that I would be going way too fast. I wouldn't get the results I wanted and stuff. But when I slowed down, started to pay attention to what I was doing, I've gotten better than I was. So
That's one of the best things I ever learned was make sure when you're finished at that grit, it can cut, it can slice paper. So it means taking the burr off a wee bit with the one you've already been using to make sure the burr is not there, and then cut. Now it's not going to cut super, but as long as from top to bottom it cuts, and that's perfect. But the other thing that I think with sharpening is that take your time when you start. You can get faster. I mean, there's nothing. You will get faster, but it's just even hand sharpening. It's making sure you finish whatever side of the knife you're doing. Get the burr, take it off, then start the next one. You don't have to go back and forward 10 times. It's once you've got the burr, take it off, then check that it's sharp, on to the next one. And I mean, most knives, for the use that I put on, when it needs a sharpen, it's not completely blunt, because the worst thing to do is let a knife go blunt, because then you're just going to lose steel every time you sharpen.
Yeah.
Well, it's just stop it every night if you can, and then once, if you're using that knife over and over again, make sure you sharpen it once a month. But I mean, I don't even have to, for the use that sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think that's one of the most important things I've learned from YouTube is stropping.
Yeah.
And, that was something that I did not know earlier, didn't pay attention to. It was always just using stones to get to your edge, but then there was no stropping afterwards. And I think that's something that maybe it was a lost art, but it's kind of come back, and it's something that was needed. Actually, I've seen where, and I don't know the actual difference, but a lot of people are talking about honing also, and I wanted to know, what the difference is between a honing and a stropping and, a sharpening, or if there is, maybe it's just the same word for something,
It can be pretty much the same, but the other thing I would do is hone with a ceramic, a ceramic rod.
Yes.
Just hone on this. It's the same sort of thing, but it's just taking that immediate care of the knife after you've used it to bring it back up. So, I mean, if it's got a wee bit more dull, just a wee ceramic, same as you do with a kitchen knife. all you're doing is realigning the edge so you get the point, and
Right.
then give it a wee drop after that to get a nice fine edge on it, and that's it. That's honing your knife in my books. But again,
Yeah.
I could be wrong too.
And how many knives have y'all seen right out of the box that they immediately needed stropping?
Yes.
Oh yeah, a lot.
and
Almost all of them.
once you put a stropping on it, it's just like a different knife.
Yes. I
I'll give
agree.
you another wee. There's another wee. You see these wee things you can buy on Amazon? The sharpening stone.
Yeah.
That's how
Those
thin
are
it is.
the little
They're,
diamond
they're
plates,
dirt
right?
cheap. They're dirt cheap. See if you get 1,000 grit one for the likes of case knife when they come off, they're very rough. Couple of strops either side on that, then give it your strop, and it's absolutely razor sharp.
Yeah.
But they literally cost about £3 or £4 each, then, and they're like good size for any knife, especially with CB and your modern knives. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah. So this is something that I found out from years and years and years of carpet land. Leather isn't the only thing you can use to strop with.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
If you don't have leather strop, you can use wood. Wood works really well. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because when I would go, say I was coming in your house to lay linoleum in your kitchen. So if there's anything underneath that linoleum, you'll see it. It doesn't matter. If it's a little speck of something, you'll see it. So when we do a linoleum floor, I had a scraper, just went to Lowe's, bought a 6-inch scraper, and I would scrape the floor to lay the linoleum. Well, within a couple days, a couple of lands, I would have that scraper so sharp, it was like you could shave your arm with it. So wood works really well if you don't have leather.
I started making wee strops this size. It's about 4 inches long, about just over an inch wide. And this, I've been trying emery paper. So I just glue a bit of emery paper onto the top of it. It works great. Absolutely. I love fiddling and trying different ways of sharpening.
Yeah.
But I've got wee strops all made that are this size now. And I've got diamond spray, which I never really used. I've just made one yesterday with diamond spray and a lovely bit of hard leather. And I put the diamond spray on it. And so far, it looks really good for getting that really keen edge. But I've tons of these now that I just make up. These are the wee blocks you get for whittling, the basswood or
Yeah.
absolutely super, because you can hold them in your hand and you're not, the blade's not coming anywhere near you. Do you know what I mean? Whereas you're just using a flat bit, you can't hold it in your hand. This I can sit in front of the TV and just go through, do my knife while I'm watching TV. No, I'm not going to cut myself.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I have heard of that, Joe, that you can hone an edge on the bottom of a coffee mug. I've also heard you can use
It's ceramic. So
the top of a ceramic mug, and then on the top of a car window.
that works too.
Yeah.
but the coffee cup, you can actually get a really good edge on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, car windows have done that.
Yeah. And then of course you could have the problem that Randy had. So there you go. Yes, Drew, and you have to drink the coffee first. That helps.
If you go back way on my sort of early days when I was learning to sharpen, I have ones where I sharpened on stone. Anything I could find, I was trying to sharpen on. And even the back of a knife, you can sharpen the metal on the back of the knife. I mean, I tried it. I've done videos on them all, river stones, ordinary stones, just to see if I could get an edge on it. I think that was more in my survival wee episode I had going through survival living. But your jeans are fantastic. Your jeans will do it if you just put them over a bit of wood, stretch them over the wood and use it for a strop. Your belt, the perfect one. In fact, all my belts, I have green compound on the inside, just in case. It's on the inside of the belt.
I didn't put compound, but I have stropped on my belt before. Yeah.
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 Yeah, if you literally just put a bit of green compound, scrub it on it, and sharpen it on it first, then it doesn't come off on your trousers as much. Give it a couple of sharpens, and then that's it.
Buy your belt in a couple extra sizes so you have a little extra on the end. Makes a great strap.
Yeah. So you're lucky there. Tom's going to be jealous.
Yeah, I'm still ringing that bell, not getting a response.
Oh, he got a response. It just wasn't the response.
Wasn't the one he wanted, I guarantee.
Yeah.
So I had a buddy that he was an engineer, and he actually subcontracted with NASA, and he worked on the space shuttles. Well, what he did is he took ceramic rods and he would honeycomb them inside, and they would run electrical conduit through these to protect them from space, whatever.
Heat, right.
And so when he got done, when he was getting ready to retire, he was like, "Hey, I've got this rod here, it's ceramic. You want it?" And I was like, "Well, heck yeah." So I actually sharpened my knives or hone them on this ceramic rod that was intended for the space shuttle. I always thought that was pretty neat. Never really told anybody about it, but being that I'm in the knife community now, I thought that was a cool story about honing and sharpening.
That would be fantastic for your big bushcraft knives and there's chef's knives.
The case that astronaut knife, you could do that with that.
I went to culinary school for a while, and I've got chef knives that I use quite often. My wife won't even touch them. I keep them so sharp. So I've sharpened these a lot on that. I love this thing.
That's what you need, is that case astronaut knife.
That's right.
Sharpen it on that.
Well, but it's $200 and it's ugly.
Oh,
I just find it ugly.
It is ugly.
I almost bought it when I went to Smoky Mountain Knife Works last time. I almost bought it, but it's just, if I'm gonna spend that money, I'm gonna get a Bowie first from Case.
I see you, Joe. Joe's
heading
out.
Stick to the Chavez.
Yeah, and Dean P says, don't throw away. You just put the dull ones back in the knife case, get another knife, then you take them to SMKW and pay the dude $2 to sharpen it for you. That's one way to do it.
They just do it on a bench grinder.
Is that what they use?
They walk up to the bench grinder and go zit, 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 and then they polish it and they, here you go. Thank you. They do all right.
I wouldn't want to take that much steel off.
Yeah, it's kind of scary when you think about it.
It's funny. Just sitting over here, I just dug out of my shed the other day.
It's not an aggressive rock they do it on, though.
Oh, okay.
It's not an aggressive rock. And then the other side's a buffing pad.
All right.
So, but like if you want it polished or anything like that, that costs extra. Polishing is $5.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. I bought one of them machines that that does. You've got the rock on one side and you have a leather strap on the other side of it. The machine, and this is way back. Yeah, you want to see the first knife I done on it? I didn't know you were supposed to buy the ones that's got you can get the RPM up and down, and you're supposed to start off with a slow RPM with a stone. It just went right through the knife. It literally melted the knife. Thankfully, it was a cheap old knife. I can't remember. It was a Ganzo or something I put on, but it just went. I gotta
You
put
had,
it on the
you had
leather.
you had two pieces. You had the handle in this end and the tip in
Yeah.
this one.
I was doing I tried just doing it with a leather because I thought that'll be better than using that rock. So I put it on, and within about 2 seconds, 3 seconds, it started glowing and melting. The edge just was melting. Literally melting because I bought a good one with a high RPM, but it didn't have a regulator.
Right.
So it's been sitting about 4 years in my shed. I just got it out because I have it on a lovely workman bench that I made for myself. So I just want to take it off. Honestly,
You could also adopt Tom's philosophy, and when it gets dull, just throw it in the drawer and buy a new one.
There you go.
That's
how
he's turning.
Always keep a sharp knife.
He's practicing. He's getting better at sharpening his knives now.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So there you go. Mike Curtis is going to the SMKW case event in August. So if any of you guys are going to be down there, say hi to Mike, and maybe we actually get Mike on the show. That'd be pretty nice, Mike. You have an invitation. So if you want to be on the show, let us know. Yeah. So yeah,
I'll meet you around the back at 6:30, Mike. Wear something nice.
I think he'd have plenty of case knives to show us. Yeah, that's for sure.
I could probably go over and make him get on the show one way or the other.
That sounds.
I'm not
good.
that far away. Just show up. Hey, Mike, what's up? Smile for the camera.
Maybe one day, he says. Well, make that one day a reality, Mike. It's not that bad. You see we run a pretty friendly show here.
Come on after he's been to the show and tell us all about it and what he bought.
Exactly. That's what I want to see. And 1 minute, you need to come on here too. You need to contact me and let me know when you're available. I know you work a lot on Sundays though, but if you have a Sunday off, let me know. It'd be fun to see what knives you got.
It's hardly worth it for a minute though, is it?
That's what she said. So.
Oh me. You got
it. Quick, somebody show a knife. Save the show.
We don't have Tom here to scold us.
Yeah.
I got this White River.
There you go.
I got this White River last month in Going Gear EDC Club.
Yeah, that's nice.
Nice little knife. I got a belt clip. It's not overly intrusive. The only thing I don't care for the orange handles. I know it's easier to see or whatever, but I'm getting some RIT dye, and I'm going to dye these G10 black, way it should be. And I think that
actually makes me sad. I like the orange handles myself.
That's why you're sad.
Black would just not be the same.
Well, then it needs to be in your life more than it needs to be in mine.
Well, it's your knife. It's your knife. You can do what you want with it.
I tell you what, RJ, I'll send it to you.
You don't have to send it to me, but that's awesome. It is a beautiful knife. I like orange handle knives myself. I got 3 or 4 of them.
You know how I am.
I know how you are.
I am.
I do know how you are.
It's S35VN, Model 1 Pro, White River.
That is a gorgeous knife.
That is a beautiful knife.
Nice.
I seen the video. I actually watched your video when you opened it.
Patty, Stephen, I'm working on you. I'm trying to get enough money to send you something.
Not
it's
got
to be worth sending, because if it ain't worth sending, then
honestly, it's just, the postage is killing at the minute. Just let it go. I have plenty of knives here. Honestly, I think.
Send
Hey,
us the
I want
stickers,
to take
though.
care of my people, you know.
You do.
Hey, look, wait. We could fall out next week. Don't send it.
Most
Wait till next week and we can fall out.
He needs the tank sticker.
But yeah,
though.
I'll
I
do
got
you.
some stuff
I'll do you a
to send
sticker
you
swap.
anyway. I got some
Yeah,
stuff
I'll
I'm
do
sending
it.
you anyway, RJ. So I'll just send that to you. It's just I just don't care for the orange, you know.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. But if you want to dye it, like I said, it's your knife now. So
CB, diet, man. Send it to him.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, I would have to do that now.
oh, that would make me cry.
Oh, yeah, please do.
I wouldn't
Please
torture
get
you like
there on a
that.
Sunday.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, so
I'll send you the money for the dye.
I got all kinds of stuff I'm about to send out to you and Tom and John.
Oh, that's awesome.
I
Thank
lost
you, sir.
John's
Thanks, Stevie.
address. His email's buried and I can't find it.
We can hook you up.
yep. You got all of them.
Are you on? You're on Instagram, aren't you, CB?
Yeah,
I'll send you a
I've
message.
got
on
your
Instagram.
address.
Huh?
He said he had
I've
your
got your address.
Oh, I'll send.
I held RJ up for it.
Yeah.
Oh,
He asked me
what
for
I'll do
it.
is I'll DM you on Instagram and I'll get your address off you and I'll send you some of my stickers over in the meantime.
I definitely want one for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'll send you a few stickers and a few e-cards.
Yeah,
My stickers are rubbish, but the e-cards are nice.
Speaking of stickers, I kind of stole an idea from John. I'm sorry.
What'd you do? Outline of the state.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it.
But
Kentucky.
it's my tank in it.
Okay.
That's cool.
But I
Yeah,
thought that
that's,
was kind of cool. So
I like that bayonet on there. That's fun. I like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I just thought it was a me kind of touch.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is. That was they had a meme going around showing a guy with a rifle with a bayonet on the end of it, and they were saying it was like when COVID was coming out, it was the social distance thing. If the end of the bayonet turns red, you're standing too close. Yeah.
It's a shame military
I thought that was pretty good. So that's the social distance tank.
It's a shame military's getting away from bayonets. I don't know
Yeah,
about
I know.
the UK, but I was like the last class to go through armor that got bayonet training.
Yeah.
And they's like, we're done with this. We're not teaching it next class. And I was like, wow,
They
that's
were
kind of wow.
They were like that with when I was going through in the 80s. They had dropped bayonet training, after the Vietnam War, but then they brought it back. And I was like in the first class that they had brought back bayonet training, and then they were going to continue on from there. But I think they've dropped it on and off over the years. I think it just depends on whatever they think is, the needs of the military, or if they didn't want to spend that time on that particular class or whatever. But I don't know. I think it's something that's good. It builds esprit de corps, kind of lets you get out some aggression, and stuff. I think it's a good thing for the military. I was sad when they're getting rid of the Warthog too, and I was like, I guess they figure we're not going to need combat air support. I don't know.
Well, they just made a super A-10. I don't know why they get rid of it.
Yeah, the Air Force has been down on it for decades. They've been wanting to get rid of it, and I was like, well, if they want to get rid of it, why don't they just take that aircraft and then give it to the Army and the Marines?
I,
'cause
I
I'm sure
think the Marines will probably take it over. The
maybe.
Army don't do jets. The
Uh,
Army does helicopters.
Well, I think, but that goes back to a Air Force versus Army thing. That's why they let it. They didn't mind if we have propeller-driven aircraft or rotary aircraft with the helicopters and stuff. But if it became, anything that's a jet, it had to be the Air Force, and that's it. Now the Navy, of course, they didn't have that same thing because the Navy has plenty of jets, and the Marines do too. Then I think for the close air support like that could definitely be an Army role. That it doesn't mean that they have to get all kinds of jets all over the place, but
I'm telling you, in the near future, and I think it's going to be the very near future, wars between two countries are going to be fought in their own countries because they're going to use drones over there. They'll have drones out, and they'll just have bombs that can go the other side of the world, hit you within 10 centimeters, and that's not that far away. I
yeah,
honestly don't think it's that far away.
So
you're
Ukraine
right.
is absolutely terrorizing the Russians with civilian drones.
Yep.
They're using a ring dropper. It's something that you use to drop a ring for a wedding or something like that. It's a trigger. And they're putting a little bomb on it or a grenade or whatever and flying it over them and just dropping it on them and come back, put another one on, put a new battery in, take off. And that's
just
where warfare is going.
Yeah. They just drive about in a civilian car. At the moment, they're using them out in Europe. And they drive about in a car. They'll hold up somewhere in the car, up with a drone. They go along the trench lines of the enemy, and they're just dropping the wee bombs straight into the trenches.
Yep.
The YouTube videos are scary at how accurate they are with a little drone.
Yeah.
And you actually see the people getting blown to smithereens. But I think we're going to be stepping away from trench warfare.
So everybody go get shotguns. Everybody go get shotguns. And when you start seeing drones, just start shooting them out of the sky before they even get close to you. Because ain't nothing bad coming from that.
It could end up being a whole new shotgun sport here in the U.S. Like stand aside, skeet and clay, traps and sporting clays. We're gonna start doing drones.
Yeah, but the scary part is all you soldiers that are bayonet trained that need to get the aggression out will be living at home now. That's scary.
That's true.
Saturday night down the pub, bayonet training.
Yeah, that's why Amazon didn't go forward with that package delivery.
Yeah, well,
the good old boys got hold of wind of that idea, and they were like, shotgun.
You know how much money they would have lost? Every redneck between here and California would have been shooting them things down. Hey, what's in the box? What's in the box? Oh, it's got pellet holes in it. Sorry. It's ruined now.
Yeah. My underpants aren't working.
That's the first thing I thought. Yeah. When I heard him say that, I was just like, well, everybody's going to be shooting them down.
Yep. Exactly. I mean,
I wish I lived in America.
They already hijacked the trucks in America. So, it's like around Christmas time. You always hear about a FedEx truck getting hijacked or a UPS truck getting hijacked. So, yeah, we got the porch pirates that come around and take boxes and stuff. Yeah, those drones didn't stand a chance.
I remember a couple of years ago that somebody close to Heathrow Airport was just flying the drones over the airspace at the airport, and they were closing down the whole airport. They'd be up for 5 minutes. It was enough to close down the airport. They got all the police in. They were away in the car somewhere, but they had actually closed the airport down for 2 hours or something. And it went on for ages. They had these machines that fired nets up to catch the drones in the net and bring them down. Just crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, Kentucky has a law if somebody's flying a drone over your property and they're hanging out too long, you have the right to shoot it out of the sky.
Oh, God bless America. I just, we need Trump over
Yes,
here.
invasion of privacy. I mean, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
Government's gonna do what they want to
Yeah.
do, but like,
Texas got
you
that
know,
law where you
if
can
you're
shoot
just
people in the
flying a
back
drone,
off
you're
the
trying to
porch.
see what's
Yeah.
in somebody's backyard or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's game on.
I'm just going to have to learn how to throw my ganzos upwards a large distance.
There you go.
But you can have slingshots, can't you?
Oh, I've got one, yes. Anything that I'm allowed, I'll have. I have
Yeah.
ball bearings and a slingshot.
There you go.
There you go. Those
Yes,
are
there's
great.
a few little
Can
birds
you
in
have
my
22s over there, Stephen?
Yeah, you have to go through a whole rigmarole to get them. It really is just an
Do you?
absolute nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
I watched this
I
one
wouldn't
guy
know.
is from England, and his whole collection is nothing but 22 caliber rifles and pistols. And he's like, I can't have nothing any bigger, but I can have as many of these as I want.
Yeah.
And I'm
Crazy.
like, okay. But he never explained, you know, what he had to go through to get them. You
Yeah,
know?
you have to join a club. If you want to shoot outside the club, you have to get a farmer's permission. And let me tell you, they're really. It used to be one farmer could have 100 people claiming permission to shoot rodents on his farm or whatever. But now they've clamped right down on it. It's so difficult. I couldn't be bothered. I have a car. I'll knock you down. It's just.
A car.
Hyundai's a great secret killer, you know.
They still have cricket bats there, don't they?
Yep, but
All
that's
right.
for the posh boys. I just have a big stick off a tree.
That'll work.
You
Yeah,
could
no,
Negan up
Yeah, I
A
was thinking the
cricket
same
bat.
thing.
wrap some barbed wire around a cricket bat.
All right.
Now you
Or
Well, you can't tell them to do that because they'll be arrested for having a
you're
weapon.
giving
of
away
mass
all these
destruction.
redneck secrets here, CV.
or you can take some gutter nails, them real long gutter nails, and drive through each side.
Now,
have a
if I
war
don't like
fight.
somebody that much and I go to that trouble, I'll just punch him in the face.
There you go. There you go. D-Ball's in the house. What's going on, man? We're just over
Can
here.
you imagine coming into this conversation?
Exactly. If you just walked in on this conversation, you're like, what the heck?
Yep.
But you know
Well, when
that's going to
CB's
happen.
on, you know a gun's got to be brought up. At
We're
least,
going there. We're just going
you
there.
know.
Arby's knives cancelled because of the gun content next week.
If anybody's still watching us over 2 hours in, then God bless you.
Absolutely.
May the doctor subscribe tablets on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely it. All that shows is intent. CB, go break up a bunch of bottles, smashing them with the bat.
This is a
We'll attend
knife.
the class.
Here's
There you
another
go.
knife.
Here's a knife.
Done.
I bought this knife not for the collection per se, but because it was $6 and it was the Walmart special. And
Yeah.
so sometimes you just
I
have to
remember when
get
you bought
a knife
that.
like this. Yep. See, John got one too, and you'd have one too, Stephen, if you had a Walmart over there.
Yeah. Well, we have a company called Asda, which is a food branch of Walmart, I think.
Oh, okay.
Right.
It's a
Nice.
budget food shop, supermarket, and I think they come from Walmart or something like that. So,
Right.
but they don't sell knives, guns, or £6 knives anyway.
Walmart doesn't sell knives or guns anymore either, unless you.
Yeah, they used to be really
Where you live?
No.
Where you
Let me
live,
finish.
John?
They sell them, but you got to find the manager to buy them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because they're
I
behind
was
glass.
actually surprised at that when I moved to Texas. I thought it would be so much better than California, and I found that it was not actually the most well-stocked Walmart I ever went in my whole life was in New Mexico. Walked in there and they just had a ton of guns.
Right.
And this guy walked over from the sporting goods department. He's like, "Can I help you, sir?" And I said, "Well, I can't really buy anything. I'm from out of state." And he goes, "Oh, okay." He says, "Well, I was just going to let you know that if you didn't see anything you liked here, we got some more that are in the back that I can bring out for you." And I was like, "My goodness, I might have to move to New Mexico."
Foreign planet. No, I tell the story every time I need a knife or anything from the cabinets. You got to go accost the manager to find the key.
Yeah.
Takes you half an hour.
Yep.
So yeah, they sell them, but good luck getting a hold of one.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's never anybody in the sporting goods department at
No,
mine.
not anymore. Not
I
anymore.
mean, they got rifles and shotguns all light up on the wall. They got cases full of knives, but you can't never get nobody to come back there. So
Are they still selling ammo at yours, CB? Yeah, because they stopped selling ammo at any of the ones in California because they had this new licensing law that they had to have a retailer had to have a special license to sell ammunition. So they pretty much have really messed us up pretty bad.
that's what surprises me about Texas Walmarts. I mean, Texas, you would think that 7-Eleven would sell guns. You know what I mean? But that really surprises me.
It's just Walmart in general, though. It has nothing to do with the being Texas or Louisiana or wherever. Just
I think it's just
the customer service has gone downhill so badly that you can't get a hold of anybody because they only hire a handful of people anymore. You go in there, there's 45 of the self checks and two people working.
Then they close down most of the self checks.
Yeah.
They have the self checkout registers, but then they don't even have those.
Not even all those are open.
Right. And so it's like, whatever. So
they probably got a quota for like the number of registers one person can watch. So if it's over 4, then he has to. They'd have to hire somebody else to watch the rest.
Yeah.
But there's a whole thing on like the security at Walmart. Now they had a big debate over the facial recognition software they were using and all kinds of crazy stuff with their security. So it's supposed to be able to recognize when you're not scanning things and all kinds of crazy things to prevent theft from the automatic checkouts. And
right.
It's some wild stuff, but they do anything not to hire somebody. It seems like.
Absolutely.
But I don't know any kind of security system that has a key. So
are you sure Walmart owned by the Chinese?
Sorry?
Is Walmart owned by the Chinese?
No.
Just a way of getting in and taking over?
It's owned by the Walton family, which are billionaires.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are they Walton?
Waltons are from Arkansas, Bentonville, Arkansas.
No, I mean their names. Homing.
Not Homing, no. The original founder was named Bill Walton.
Yeah.
And his dog's name was Old Roy. And he made his own dog food line for Walmart and everything and named it after his dog. I don't know who Sam, I guess maybe it was his brother.
Yeah.
Or something where Sam's comes into it.
Right.
But it was a family thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes, indeed. They're all rich as heck.
Yep.
Good on them.
But they're aren't they publicly traded now? Or are they still
really don't
family owned? Because I figured it had more to do with shareholders being able to decide what they want and what they don't want in there. Of course, what they do want is mass profits. What they don't want is any controversy.
Well, one thing is COVID gave everybody a reason to downsize their employees.
Right.
I.e., McDonald's. You pull up and you tap on what you want on the board, and next thing you know, 2 or 3 minutes later, your food's coming out. But it's just got to that point to where like everything's getting automated, self-checkout, internet is killing all the brick and mortar buildings. Why do I want to go to Walmart and spend an hour out of my day dealing with nasty people when I can get online and have it here tomorrow from Amazon?
Right.
I'll have to say it's the same over here in the UK. Me and my wife buy most of the stuff that we buy from Amazon, and it's here the next day, or the latest is 2 days. And
Yeah.
it's at your door. It's at your door. You don't have to use your car. And we pay £7 a month on. We buy something else. We buy it costs £7 a month, and it means we get free Amazon, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
It's amazing and there's very little they don't do now. I mean,
oh, you can order anything you can think of other than porn, I guess.
But
on
the
Amazon.
nice thing is they don't sting you for price either. It's usually within a couple of pounds of what you can get on the store down the street. You know what I mean? It's well, I think so anyway.
I was looking at Wagyu on there yesterday, and they got it on Amazon anywhere from $100 to $1,000 a steak.
Good God!
So
no, they don't do much
you can
food
get
on
anything from
Amazon. They wouldn't do much food. It's just sort of the odds and ends. Although saying that, I do buy my lemon tea from Amazon. They just deliver a box of it.
Both buy.
Yeah, I love lemon tea. I really get into sweetened lemon tea, and I'm hardly drinking normal tea now, and I used to be a tea addict. Oh, I would have gone through 20 cups of tea a day.
Now you're turning me into one.
Got the shirt and everything.
Got the shirt and everything. Yeah. For anybody that missed it, this is a T-shirt.
Heck yeah.
Or just for Steven.
I'm not tight. I made myself a T-shirt for our podcast.
Uh-huh.
I don't know whether you've seen my videos. You'll see this wee man in it.
Yeah. I like that guy.
I bought this off Amazon, and it's a stick-on one. So I went out and bought myself a new T-shirt and have this on it. So it'll be on Monday night on our live.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, Randy's WSG is talking about English tea, and yeah, I did the same thing. I decided to go English all the way. There you go.
Boy. Builders.
Yep. Let's see. Jerome Voss says the British drink tea, the Americans throw it in the sea. Yep, that's true. There was a T-shirt that was made that said, "I like my coffee black and my tea in the harbor."
I like my sweet tea now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, Jerome. I'm from the South. We love our sweet tea down here.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Texas was the last
place
I got some sweet tea.
We got Texas tea here, but that's not something you drink.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you order.
It's oil.
That's went straight over my head. What the
It's
Texas
oil.
have?
It's a slang for oil.
Oil?
Yeah, crude
Oil.
Right.
Yeah, there's that, and then you got to be careful also if you order a Long Island iced tea, because it tastes like sweet tea, but it's full of alcohol.
It's got a lot
I like those, man.
alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
You guys don't drink ice. You guys don't drink iced tea, do you? You just drink it warm.
No. The younger people now drink the iced teas and frappes and all this sort of thing. That's not I don't go in for all that. I have to say, I very rarely drink coffee.
I don't either.
I'm not a coffee drinker either.
I drink coffee every day. Every day.
I drink about 3 or 4 cups a year. Usually on the coldest days of the year.
There you go.
Well, boys, I'm going to have to head on out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm ready.
Morgan, man.
I hear
gotta
you.
go
It's
to
probably
the
about time to wrap this one up.
That crowd in the audience tonight were very boring. I'm ready for going. Yeah.
Thanks again to Randy for this one.
Yeah,
That's cool,
Give him a
knife.
massive shootout.
that is
That's,
that is a cool knife.
Really sentimental. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You look like
It's
a
a
Girl
lovely
Scout, John.
I know it.
You got the little brownie outfit.
The green on and the beret.
Oh yeah, green. Yeah, that's it.
Jesus, CB, you're living out in the wilds, boy.
He
I
knows
ain't
a good
never seen
looking. He knows a good looking thing when he sees it. What are you talking about there, Steve?
Well,
All right,
willing is
boys, I'm
always a
headed out.
very attractive thing.
As always, it's always a pleasure, and
Yeah.
I love your viewers to death, RJ. They're best ever. So
Yeah.
welcoming, and everybody's just super cool, and I appreciate it. And thank y'all for having me.
Well,
Yeah, sorry, for
Yeah.
my viewers out there, it kinds of mean you too, you know.
Take care, boys.
You're
we always
you,
enjoy
yours
having you on,
too,
CB.
Stephen.
We'll
Yours too.
definitely-
It's everybody's. It's
We-
everybody's.
Cheryl,
Definitely
thank
have
you
you
so
back
much. Take care. Take
All
care.
right.
Bye bye. Is that us off?
Nope, not yet. I'm working on it.